Hey everybody, it's a cold morning here in Colorado. Dog Gizmo chilling on my lap. It's my service dog. I had to cut off at the end of the last video without really finishing the whole story, because there's more to that story than what I just said. But I'm actually going to just keep moving forward because there is another pressing need I need to address, and that is of a person that holds extreme power amongst all of the WASP programs, and that is the man, Dr. Marcel Chappuis. Dr. Chappuis. Doctor. He is a doctor. I've looked it up. He is a doctor. He is the therapist for the WASP programs. And this man is extensively embedded in Utah law enforcement and fire department as a consultant. Judges are his friends. He's done consulting work for judges on sending kids to programs. And this man is a pedophile and a rapist. Yes, a pedophile and a rapist. I'm going to tell you my story with him. He was my therapist while I was in Jamaica. My parents paid extra for him, so my parents paid an extra bonus for this little morsel. So Dr. Chappuis would come to the program about once a month on a rotation. He jumps from program to program, going a couple days to a week at each one, seeing patients. He does a lot of rape therapy, and his methods are very immoral and unethical. On my first, it was either my first or second. I want to say it was my first because I've been in therapy since I was about 8. So when I hear a therapist at the end of the name, back then, my first inclination was, oh, this is a safe person that I can unload my awful life story on and get some help with. And so I started doing that with him on, my first visit, and just kind of started telling him everything. And I got to my gang rape the year before I got sent to Jamaica. Not too long after moving to Florida, I was gang raped by a boy I went to school with and 2 of his friends. I had a crush on him and went to go hang out with him and after school one day, and I ended up being gang raped. I ended up being tied to a bed in an abandoned house and raped and videotaped. And I told Dr. Chappuis this, and he could see that I was still extremely distraught from it. Still probably obviously am. It's a pretty traumatic experience. And he he was like, I want to do some exposure therapy with you. And I'm like, what's exposure therapy? And he goes, well, it's basically we're going to reenact scenes from your rape so that you can be re-exposed to those feelings again so that you can overcome them. Not ideally what I want, but okay. He's a doctor. He's an adult. I can trust him. I lay down on the floor, and he gets on top of me and covers his body with mine, and he starts simulating sex on top of my body, on top of my 17-year-old body. And this man is in his mid-40s at this time. I freaked out. And I put my hands on him and on his chest, and I kind of pushed him up and away from me. And I said, I'm really, really sorry, but I don't think I can do this at all. I'm afraid I'm going to hurt you. Because I was freaking out. And he kind of pauses, and he kind of looks down at me, and he gives me a look kind of like that, and like he's weighing something. And then he just goes, okay, that's fine, we can talk about it, in this really creepy, forced, cheerful way. And then, he kind of helps me stand up and straightens out my collar, kind of brushes off my shoulders and straightens out my shirt and stuff. And I'm kind of gathering myself. Not really sure of what just happened. Not really sure how I feel about what just happened. But I'm with my therapist, so I'm supposed to be able to trust this person. The whole incident lasted about maybe 20 to 30 seconds. Not very long, I know, but terrifying. I look back now, and after the life that I've lived, I'm pretty convinced that pondering look, quizzical look he was giving me was him weighing whether or not the fight would be worth it to keep doing what he was doing. I was forced to continue to see him after that, and I saw him many, many times after that because my parents were paying for him. Staff were never allowed to be in on the one-on-ones. They always sat outside the door of the room with the door closed and locked to protect patient confidentiality. Upon leaving the program, I started getting on survivor boards pretty quickly and kind of discussing this experience and heard stories far worse than mine from this man. From the research I've been able to do and from talking with people over the past 20 years, this man has pretty much been raping and molesting children in therapeutic boarding centers since about 1991. And he was arrested February of last year as the director of Northwest Academy in Nevada for 45 different charges of child abuse and endangerment, felony child abuse and felony child endangerment. Him and his wife. I can't even imagine the horrors that went on at a school that this man had total control of, considering what he did and has done when all he had was just a little piece of control. This man was responsible for medicine prescriptions. He routinely and chronically misdiagnosed people to feed them full of heavy tranquilizers and drugs that would take them away and numb them. And then he proceeded to molest and rape a lot of them. So look him up. Dr. Marcel Chappuis. He is free on bail right now. He is the director of the New Life Recovery Adult Treatment Center in Utah. And he is a pedophile and a rapist.